friend, welcome to Choco Millionaire. It's the day after inauguration of the 47th President of the United States, and I am here with a live video. Yeah, let's discuss it. I know a lot of you have questions. Let's all talk about it. Let me know what you think about what is happening in the US. Definitely has a ripple effect on many parts of the world. Many parts of the world. So it's an election that we should all take an interest in, because what happens in the US affects majority of the countries in the world. So yeah, let me know what you think of it. It's official. Donald J. Trump is officially the 47th president of the US. He won it in 2016 as a private businessman who came in and people wrote him off. Somehow he won it, lost it in 2020, made a comeback in 2024, was sworn in just yesterday. Now, there are mixed feelings out there. Not everybody is excited about him. Of course, Trump is a very controversial figure. So the opinions out there are just divided, seriously divided. And a lot of people are not happy that he's back in the office. There are people who are also excited that he's back. Let me know what you think and what your position is so far. Otherwise, it's a snowy Tuesday here in Ontario, Canada. It's snowing big time right now as we speak. And I'm just indoor here. Let's go into the details of it. So yesterday when he was sworn in, later that day in the evening, he signed a bunch of executive orders, which is very common with presidents when they assign it. Joe Biden did it. So it's not surprising. People expected him to sign those executive orders. Probably the way he did it, like at a Capitol arena in front of his fans. The manner in which he did it is a kind of a spectacle that people could be debating on and all of that. But you've seen it. It's plenty of executive orders. The most recent one, which I posted on the channel, is Donald Trump freezing foreign aid for the next 90 days. So there will be no money going out of the US. Just for the record, it means countries that are expecting some monies from the US they're going to have to sit for 90 days without receiving anything, right? It could potentially even be extended. So that's one of the things. Now, the one thing he also did is that he issued a pardon for 1,500 J6 or January 6 protesters. If you remember the J6 protests, a bunch of people were incarcerated because of that. They're in prison. So yesterday, Donald Trump issued a pardon for 1,500 or so J6s or J6 protesters. Let me know what you think about that. Okay, I reported majority of the things that he did yesterday too, and I'm still bringing some of the update there. And I know you want to also hear more about Canada. Choco, you are not talking about Canada. What's going on? Yes, because Canada is a mess right now. You're hearing that from me. Canada is a big mess right now. We literally don't have a leader in Canada. Our leader has said he's going to resign. His party is trying to market candidates here and there to see who they can put forward, quickly, aggressively run a campaign, to see whether they can even make anything meaningful at the election in October. The election could even happen earlier. Now that Donald Trump has officially taken over, Canada's election could even happen somewhere in the spring, or maybe late spring. It could happen earlier. It's supposed to happen in October, but you know, in Canada we do early election, meaning they can actually do it earlier. So Donald Trump's election, in my opinion, is very consequential, very consequential. The effect of it is serious. Perhaps you have not been following American politics like I did. I wasn't following. I wasn't even following Canadian politics. I didn't have any interest at all. I just started following recently. That is why you see me post a lot of political stuff now. You probably want to start paying attention to what happens in some of these countries, like, of course, your home country, the US, Canada, Europe. Pay attention, because they have consequences on what happens in our own countries back home, especially if your home country is not at a point where they are dependent on themselves. They are self-reliant and are doing things by themselves. We're reliant on foreign aid. We are reliant on so many things from other countries. So what happens there affects us big time. Number one country that will be affected big time is Canada, my own country, Canada. Canada will be affected big time. Donald Trump has suggested that February 1 will be the beginning of the 25% tariff on Canadian goods. That is literally just 10 days away, or less than 10 days away. He's hinted that that could be the day that the 25% tax or tariff on products from Canada will go into effect. Now, you've also seen a video of Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, basically also suggesting that there will be a potential retaliatory tariff on American products, especially on alcohol, because Canada, as you know, is one of the world's largest consumer of alcoholic products. So he's suggesting the majority of it comes from the US. So if Trump wants to go that way, then probably Ontario, his province, or maybe Canada will also slap the US with tariffs as well. I could share my personal opinion. Let me know what you think about this, if you understand some of these things well. I personally don't think Canada should be embarking on a trade tariff war with the US. The US is a monstrous economy on its own. Probably the state of California alone's economy. It's probably, compare that to Canada, just the state of California, right? So the US is not an economy you really want to be taking on for a fight. Some of these things should be done through diplomacy. You know, people have to get to the table to talk. I don't think Canada will win a trade war with the US today. You live in Canada, you and I know our economy is a big mess. Big mess. You know it. We don't have jobs. People are struggling, right? Wages are not going up. Things are expensive, ridiculously. By the way, I live right by the border. I'm telling you this. When you drive and you cross the border to go buy gas, you see the difference right away. That just 20 minutes of driving to cross the border, you're paying more for the same thing. So things are expensive here in Canada. Canada is seriously expensive. And you know how much Canada relies on US. A lot. Just start looking at all the businesses in Canada that are owned by the Americans. Just start, you know, just start looking and see. Of course, you can look at the rivers and see, but what about the US economy too? They rely on Canada, right? We give them this, they get their hydro from us in many. Yes, it's two ways. But I say the US economy is a monstrous economy we do not want to be picking a fight with. We have to get to the table and talk. Trump said he is a good negotiator, so he's going to do his best for his country. We have to get to the table. That is the more reason why I think the threat of February 1 being the date that the tariffs will go for Canada, on Canada or Canadian products, could put a lot of pressure on the Canadian government or Canada as a country to probably hold an early election. Because right now, Justin Trudeau is technically out of the picture. He has prorogued Parliament for God knows how long, maybe till March ending. So right now, Parliament of Canada cannot even do any business till March. Is it March? Correct me if you were following the updates. And do set what 1st of February, he is going to likely slap that tax tariff on Canada and Mexico. Man, I expect a lot of pressure on the Canadian Prime Minister. There will be a lot of pressure here in Canada calling for an early election. There has already been the call for an early election. It will even get more serious in the next few weeks or days. because somebody needs to be stepping forward to sit at the table with Trump to discuss the way forward. Will it be the liberal-led Justin Trudeau who is going out of office? Or somebody from his party will win the election, which I don't think will happen. I don't think the liberals are going to get another shot. They won't get another shot. And it's not me saying it. The polls are saying they won't get another shot. It's not possible. No matter who they dress up, it's not going to happen. The liberals in Canada, Justin Trudeau's party, no matter who, whether they put Carney forward or they put Freeland, I just don't think they're going to win. That's a fact. It's a fact. All the people are just so fed up with them. And I've said that I think that the defeat they will face here in Canada, the incumbent government, will even be worse than what happened in the US. Just look around and you see how the incumbent governments are falling and falling all over the place. My home country is Ghana, right? You saw it, 57%. Charlie, the defeat was big. The defeat was so serious, the incumbent, they just didn't know how to handle it. Did you see what happened in Ghana, my home country, Ghana? The defeat was serious. Serious defeat. It's the kind of knockout you get, then you can't, when you try to stand up, your leg says, no, I can't stand. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. And I'm telling you that what happened in the US is small. What will happen in Canada is bigger. Mark my words. I'm not saying because I'm the one to. I'm telling you that this is the mood here in Canada. If they do the election today. You people here, Choco said it. Choco said he said the defeat will be big. It will be like the sweep, It will be a complete sweep. We don't have a functioning prime minister in Canada right now. We have a prime minister who knows his time is up. His party is down in the polls. You have a very aggressive president of the US who says he's going to put his country first. What do you think will happen? Early election in Canada, so that they can put somebody in power who can go toe-to-toe diplomatically to sit with Trump and begin to talk. Hey, we are the best allies you can have, US. You know what I mean? Mexico is there, but Canada is the best allies the US, Americans are, right? US and Canada, we are like, twins. You know what I mean? Sometimes they poke each other like that, but they are like this. You know it already. So I believe there will be a solution, to be honest with you. I believe Trump and the Canadians will find a solution. This tension is supposed to happen because of the politics right now. All right. There are also some executive orders that he signed that has ruffled a lot of shoulders and feathers, right? I'm not smiling because I'm happy. I'm just smiling because it's part of my presentation. When I do presentation, you see me sometimes you do this. One of them, probably very controversial. I personally didn't think he was going to do it. The signing of the Birthright order, executive order. I actually thought he wasn't going to do it right away. That he was going to probably think through, take a bit of time, and then he just signed it. Of course, we don't know the details yet. We don't know the full details yet. I am not sure whether it has to do with just working on the definition of what a birthright citizenship should be, and stuff like that. Because, that particular one is one that will actually start a whole legal process in the US. The way they've designed that particular 14th Amendment is not supposed to be an easy thing that will allow any political party that has just a simple majority to just go in and just sign and then I'm just thinking that it's going to be a very difficult thing for Trump to achieve eventually. He tried it in 2016. Obviously, at that time, he was in a weaker position as a president. He didn't have full control of the House. Now he has control of the House. He has his people at the Supreme Court as well. But it's not enough. He still needs to go an extra mile to pass all kinds of hurdles at the state level, get some numbers and all of that before this whole thing can even go to a constitutional amendment. So I think that one could prove to be a difficult thing for Donald Trump. Now, for those who don't understand the birthright citizenship thing, basically anybody who gives birth in the United States, also in Canada, regardless of their immigration status, their children become automatic citizens. And these two countries, maybe there could be another one out there. These two countries, as we speak, in the West, in the Northern Hemisphere, are probably the only two countries that I can think of right now who have these birthright citizenship laws in place. So let me take that again for you to understand. With the birthright citizenship, what it means is that if you find yourself within the geographical locations of the United States or Canada, and you end up giving birth there, okay, regardless of your immigration status, regardless whether you're a visitor, an asylum seeker, you just pop out of the sky like an alien and you just landed, so long as a child was born within American soil, on American soil or on Canadian soil, your child becomes an automatic citizen. Now, Trump has been advocating for the reform of that particular right or provision. Why? He thinks that it's been abused by people who don't have status in the U.S., take advantage of the U.S., come in and just make babies who get passports. You know what I mean? So there is birth tourism, for example, where people get a B1, B2 visa and they go. By the way, if you're liking this video, make sure you're just showing the time so that I know you people are here. You're not sleeping. Hit the like button right now. Let me know if you're with me. Drop your comments as well. I will read your comments if today is your first time watching. We're watching Choco right here, and I am not a journalist, even though I had a little training when I was in Africa, in that area. So this is not a report of any media house. This is me running my personal opinion. I could get a lot of things wrong, and if I do, the blame is on me, not on anybody, not on this platform I'm broadcasting on. I'm also up for correction, so if you know better than some of the things I say, please you use the comment section to drop it. It's all about just conversation, all right? Drop your comments. If today is your first time, let me know where you're watching from as well, okay? All right, somebody said, Manji K. Trump, your last name there. Are you a Trump supporter or you just happen to have the same last name, Manji? All right, Manji K. Trump says Brazil has that too. Good, I didn't know. Thank you for the education. I did not know. So Manji is saying that Brazil has birthright citizenship, meaning if a child is born on Brazilian soil, regardless of the immigration status of the parent, the child automatically becomes a Brazilian citizen. Thank you for the education. Yeah, fact check that if you think Manji also got it wrong. This platform, we should fact check as well, right? We don't just take anything as a holy grail. Oh, all right, thank you. Manji, thank you. I'm not saying you are wrong, Manji. I'm just saying if anybody knows something about it, they can also drop it, all right? Okay, so US, Canada, and probably Brazil are the few countries that had this in place. So what has happened is that, and I'm going to say something here. I don't want you to think Choco is taking a dig or digging at Africans. One impression a lot of people get is that when some of these laws are passed, changes are made, they think that it is targeting Africans. I used to also think like that, you know. I used to think that Africans were the ones that these things were meant for. No, but the truth is that Africans are just, the entire continent of Africa, we're just a small percentage of people who actually find themselves using some of these provisions. So when we talk about birthright citizenship, where non-status folks in the US, people with no immigration status, people who are not documented, give birth, and then they are, or undocumented folks or illegals, if you prefer that one, give birth and their children become citizens and stuff. As this law is going, you might get a feeling that, oh my God, it's only Africans who are. No, we're just a small drop. The biggest people who use this are not even Africans. You know where they are? They are from the Latin American countries, the Spanish-speaking countries. They are from Mexico right there. They are from, name all of them. They are more. They are even more closer to the US. So You know the loops you have to go through from Africa to get here, especially if you're if you're not, you know what I mean, if you're not flying. But those in Mexico, they have a special way of getting into the US. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to think that this thing is just the people who actually use these things are more than Africans. I used to also think that in Canada, Africans were the ones doing the asylum. My goodness, when I began looking at the data, my goodness, 50% of asylum seekers are from India. India, yes. You know India? Nelly, Bali is there. Yeah, 50%. They are not from. That's one country, by the way. One country. 50% in Canada. Asylum. Next, Turkey. Majority of the asylum seekers are from Turkey. Next, Mexico. And then you can add Pakistan, and you know what I mean? Before you begin coming to Africa, and then you see Ghana and Nigeria, they've been competing as to who will be at the top. Sometimes Nigeria aggressively will be at the front and Ghana will come from behind. I was looking at the data recently. I said, wow, Ghana and Nigeria, they are competing big time to see who is going to, right? But the numbers here, in terms of those who will be affected the most, are not even Africans. There are Africans there, but we just constitute a small. It's like you crying wolf about DV lottery visa. The biggest countries that suffer the most are not even the African countries you think are not participating. Your country will just get about maybe 1,000 slots or a few dozens of slots. The big countries out there from different parts of the world are the ones who get hit. That's the first thing I learned myself. And I want to make sure my followers are getting it so that you don't feel that Trump has an agenda against Africans. He just is putting his country first, which is what I think any common sense person would do. You may not like it. You may not be happy. I bet you the moment you put your objective lens on, you will do the same thing. Can we try? You live in your house, right? You're renting or you own it. Open your door wide, let strangers come in, sit in, make a bed, sleep in your wife's room, eat your food, drink, you know what I mean, use your clothes. And it's not because you were a charity for Christmas, but because you just believe in open border. Open the door. Would you do it? You wouldn't do it. You lock your door, huh? You even check it twice. You lock your door twice. You come back. It's normal. It's common sense. That's what everybody does. The only reason why you're seeing it as a big deal is because you're looking at it from one end. You wish you were the one benefiting from it, and you're not putting maybe Americans first. That's what I personally think, right? That's what I personally think. If you're an American who lives in America and you see the things going on, you probably will be, okay, yes to Trump. So the Americans who voted for Trump, the majority, overwhelming millions of Americans who voted, think that the country was heading the wrong direction. Whether you like it or not, it's their choice. And it's their country, it's their sovereignty. That's how they exercise their mandate. They want a president who will put their needs first. You see? So please, cut the Americans some. You know what I mean? Don't take it too personal. Because I say you do the same thing. If you don't believe you do the same thing, just ask yourself this question. Will your own country back home open its borders wide? Anybody can enter. Whether they are criminals or not criminals, whether they are priests or not priests, whether they are... let them come. And then when they come in, you put them in hotels, give them money, give them credit cards, give them this, give them this. And then your own nationals, the veterans and stuff, they are not getting it. Will you do it? I want you to answer. This is not about Choco being this. I said I want you to answer it objectively in the comment section. Answer it. Will you do it? What the Americans are saying is that they are tired of being treated last and foreigners who don't have status being put first. That is why they voted. That is what led them to vote the way they voted. Now, is it because they don't like immigrants? No. That is why Trump made a comment. I actually posted that video. He said he wants more people in the US, but he was legal migrants. Sorry, legal immigrants. So let's use the opportunity to explain the two. When people hear about immigration, they just think that it is referring to everybody. There are people who legally migrate or immigrate to a country. These people are people who submit applications for visa. These are people who get vetted for their visa applications, their purpose of entering the country, and then they are issued a visa. So if you legally apply for a visa, you bought your plane ticket or whichever way you use, and then you enter the country legally at the port of entry, vetted by a border control officer, you are not doing anything illegal. Then there is also the other side of it called the undocumented migrant, which is basically a fancy, colorful name for illegal immigrants. These are people who, one way or the other, will find themselves in a country without using the proper channel, what we call the back door to enter. So some of them will stow away, if you understand stowaway. Some of them will pass through everywhere, go through Brazil, go through Belize, go through Mexico, and from the sky, from down, under the tunnel, whichever one, jump the wall, whichever one you can call it, swim, whichever one, they may be coming from Haiti, whichever one, and then they find themselves in the country. Now, these people, they don't need no passport. In fact, some of them, before they get it, the passport is already flying in the air, like, you know what I mean, Zap-Zero, right? The passport is, who needs passport? See, yeah, right? So these people, when they enter, the fancy name is undocumented migrants. Undocumented migrants. Of course, there are also people who legally acquire visa, enter a country, and then later lose their status. So maybe you first came with a visa, B1, B2, and then you violated the conditions of your stay, and then you now entered into a stage of your immigration where you don't have status. Those people also become undocumented at some point, right? Yeah, so I just want you to make sure that you understand the difference here. So Trump's policies that he's bringing, especially the one on the birthright and border, seems to be targeting the illegal immigrants, not those who are legal. It is not aimed at those who are legally on student visas, are schooling, who came on a valid work visa, are working, those who have valid green cards and are working. Just to be clear, so that you don't think that Trump hates everybody who is in the US. That is not the point. I stand to be corrected. Please use the comment section to let me know if you think I got anything wrong. His policy seems to be targeting the illegal side of immigration. All right. All right. So as to whether you agree with this or not, use the comment section. Let me know. Do you think the United States should protect its borders, secure its borders, or you think the US should leave its borders ajar, unmanned, so that anybody at all can come in? Let me know in the comment section. And I also want you to answer this second part of the question. If you were to live in a country called United States of Ghana, United States of Nigeria, and your country is doing well per standard, let's say it becomes the South Africa of Africa, will you also wish that your borders are left open and wide, ajar? Would you go to bed with your doors not locked, secured? I have a double lock on my door right now, that anybody can come in, and when they come, you give them VIP treat over your children, you give them VIP treat over your in-laws, and that. Let me know, right? This is a common sense conversation, so please have it. Opinions. You see, the thing about facts is that facts don't care about your feelings, isn't it? Facts don't care about feelings. You can hate the things happening, but when you begin to be objectively analyzing them, you understand. All right. So that is it about Trump and his border policies. Now, the update I got this morning is that around the Vermont border with Canada, a border control guard or officer has been shot. The officer is no longer alive. That's what I heard. I'm here to verify that. Who shot the officer? An illegal migrant. For a better word, undocumented migrant. That is the update today, as we speak. I haven't posted it because I'm just thinking through whether it's it's okay to post that kind of video. I haven't posted it. So telling you that already Trump's administration, his term has started, and there will be tension. The US is a very lively place, especially the left and the right, the Democrats and the Republicans. They are at a stage where the tension is real. People, as we're speaking right now, majority of you are Democrats. Some of you, or I may not be Democrat, but you are liberal-leaning folks. Some of you also watching right now are probably conservative, traditional folks, and you are on the other side of the aisle, or the spectrum. It is what it is. We will not always agree. The most important thing is that whichever ideology you subscribe to, we ought to be willing to have conversations, isn't it? Which is what is missing today in the United States, which is what is missing today in Canada, which is what is missing today in the entire Europe. The opportunity for people to dialogue even when they disagree, it's just gone. People no longer want to listen to each other. People want to resort to all kinds of means to silence other people they don't agree with. So let's get back to that table where we are having this conversation. Even if you disagree, bring your facts. Challenge the other person with your facts. And if your facts emerges as superior, you know what I mean? Yeah, it stands. And it can stand the test of time. Why not? It is what it is, right? So let me know what you think. US. The second reason why, so the first reason I talk about Canada and how consequential Trump's reign, second coming of Trump will be for Canada. I gave reasons, and I said it could put more pressure for an early election, probably around spring instead of October 2025. Secondly, I talk about the internal executive orders in the US and how some of them affect the border and stuff like that. Maybe I should talk about that a little bit. So before the election, I did a long video, monologue, and then in that video, I talked about how the incumbent government at that time, Joe Biden's government, how they have incentivized illegal immigration or migration into the US. Some of you disagreed, but I'm pretty sure you are seeing the evidence now. I think they incentivized it, meaning they boosted the morale or the interest of people to enter the US illegally, right? And it was based on a lot of things. Please use the comment section and let me know what you think of this. How long will it take for you to get an appointment date for a US visa interview for B1, B2? Comment below and let me know. How long, what is the average time it takes for you to get an appointment date for a B1, B2? Is it 1 month? Is it 2 weeks? Is it 3 weeks? All right, by the time you begin seeing the answers, you know what we're talking about. How easy is it to get some of the visas in the US? Pretty difficult, right? Now, if the few people who manage to apply for those visas eventually even get them, does the system make it easy for them to transition or even cope on that level of visa? I'll leave the answers in the comment section. I will let it come from people for you to read. So basically, if we are not making legal migration the process, if you are not making it stress-free, even if there is no guarantee of a visa approval, even if you are not making it stress-free, less cumbersome, and not time, you know what I mean? Complex, just complex. And then we send a signal that it is easier for you to come through the back door, because the back door is also an entrance, isn't it? Or an entry. What do you think you're telling people? You're telling people that they should fly off to a neighboring country around Mexico. Enter. It's much easier to enter from there. That is what I believe that is what the Biden regime did. Did you see the video of the woman who was crying at the border? That woman is not yet in the US. She's behind the border. If I got it right, she's hoping to enter the US. But look at it too. She doesn't have a visa. She's hoping to enter the US. But before she will enter, she has already secured an appointment in the US. Immigration-related appointment. Person will no get visa, he no get passport. He gets, how did she get the appointment? Because people where they okay, sorry if you don't understand PG. Let me go PG. PG is like Creole. Let me speak PG. Somebody without a US visa, probably without even a passport, has an appointment which is immigration related in your country. And they are not coming by plane. They are coming through the back door. And they had a scheduled appointment. How is that happening? You remember I told you the Biden government created a whole app. They built a whole app. I posted the link under that video. If you look in the comment section, you'll find the link there. They created a whole app that you could download to self-report yourself that I am coming in illegally. I'm coming in. I don't get visa. I'm coming in. Give me an appointment. And when you go, they will tell you that for faster processing. Faster processing. That's a key word. Faster processing. Well, fast. One time. Many in Tao, US visa appointment date. And people have to be moving from Ghana to Ivory Coast to Namibia and Togo and Co. just to go and get interview dates. Yet somebody will not get visa is a faster processing. You see, come the back door. You see, I tell you, say this will be the way that they make the legal thing more. I don't tell you, this one, you can vest in your pocket. If you don't like what I said, go and fight the fat. The fat is there. That's why I put the link. Go and read it yourself. So you, government, you can't take power for 9 years or so. You create this kind of app. Then you are wondering why people are just coming in like that. And then when they come in, see as a nice, put them for hotels, you give them money. Some of them, they load their credit card with $15,000. They say, see, there's nothing wrong by being nice. But there is always something we call when you overheat. You see what I mean? They overheat the thing. The thing overheat them. They do on too much. They don't put the common sense balance for that. That be why the thing he make the Americans vest. Like where the Americans know say if the vest. If they carry them an AK or if serious vest with that. If Americans vest, they don't go there. That's why you don't take their AK something from them. Because if American person vest, they forget. They just had enough. There are all kinds of good arguments that can be made for the contribution of undocumented migrants. Do you know how many people have said that these guys who may not have entered legally, who may not have had a visa, who may not even have a status here, may be among the pile of good folks who entered illegally and are helping build the economy. They are the guys working in California on the farm. They are the guys working and building the houses. The Spanish undocumented migrant will work and do your job for you faster than the average person. So there is a whole lot of good argument we can make for it. These folks, because they know they don't have papers, when they come in, they actually work their socks off. So there is a good case to be made for it. But again, the point here is balance. When you don't strike a balance with things and it gets out of control, that's what happened. I think that is what happened in the US. And I think that is also what happened in Canada. And I also think that is what is happening in Europe right now. So therefore, the thing that angered the people of the United States, the Americans, and led to the rise of Donald Trump, amidst all the things they put in his way, he shouldn't have. I was telling my wife, no, about a year ago, I was telling my wife, I would be surprised if Donald Trump survived all these things. Because there were serious challenges before him legally. It was all over the place. You know it. If you've been following, you know he was dealing with a lot. How does somebody like that still become the president? Because there is something that was happening on the ground and politicians were not paying attention. People were sending them the signal that, man, turn the tap off a little bit. Focus on the people within. Focus on the citizens. They were not listening. The veterans are complaining. The veterans who serve in the wars and stuff like that, lost their limbs and what have you, focus on them. You are not attending to these people. The citizens who, maybe some of them through lifestyle choices, bad decisions, hanging out with the back crew, some of them became maybe homeless. Real support, give them real support. Well, some of the support could mean that give them the medical support, the mental health support that they need, clean them up, provide shelter in wintry, frigid weathers like this. Let them be. Don't leave them in the open. If we do not solve these problems as a country, and then somebody who didn't have status comes in, and then you put them in a 5-star hotel, and you know what I mean? You give them all the monthly allowances and stuff like that. I want you to honestly ask yourself this. Do you think South Africa will allow this to happen? Is that not the same problem we had in South Africa? Maybe, I don't know, forgive me, maybe I shouldn't even talk about South Africa because I don't know much about South Africa's situation. Let's look within Africa as a country. Will South Africa approve an open border where anybody from any African country can come in without a visa? Live in, put them in hotels, give them checks, give them money, give them this, give them that. Will South Africa approve it? I bet you know the answer. Huh? They won't do it. So sometimes when you see the tensions between people in South Africa and the citizens and this, some of this, we can look at the other side of the argument too. But I'm saying that in every country, there is a need to strike the balance. I just think the Democrats overhate. They overhate their thing too much. To the point of, man, creating apps. Some of you don't even know about the apps, but you are busily just defending it. You don't know about it. That's why I deliberately put the link there for you to go and read what it says on there. This is the #1 country that attracts immigrants. Everybody will want to get a visa to go there. And then you create an app for illegals to come in. How do you expect the system to be? So now you understand why the woman was crying. She's not yet in the USA, but she has appointment to come in as an illegal immigrant. Some of them are even being flown with taxpayers' money. They fly them to even enter. But those jobs, American citizens are not doing it. Is that the case? Yes and no. Yes, some of them, Americans who are doing well, will not do it. I live in Canada. Some of those menial jobs, the farm works and stuff, some Canadians will not do it. That's a fact. Somebody has to do those jobs. And the argument is that if these undocumented people come in, like Canada has this farm program where farm workers come from different Spanish-speaking countries and Caribbean countries, Jamaica and stuff, come in March, they come and work, and then they go back. By December, they go back, and then they come every March, they come and work. That arrangement is there. That's a whole immigration program on its own. But is that enough? Is that an enough reason for you to formalize an illegal immigration to solve that problem? Why are the people not doing these jobs? Why are your citizens not interested in doing those jobs? Why don't we investigate that? I was one of the few people who believe that majority of the jobs here that are low-skilled jobs, Canadians won't do them. There are Canadians who are really working some of these jobs as cleaners, working at Tim Hortons. Children who are in high school, Canadians, working. So they actually do these jobs. You see, the liberal political parties have a tendency of using immigration as a trump card to do things. You know what I'm talking about. Right now, I think I can talk about it on Facebook because Facebook's owner himself is busily begging Trump for clemency after they've censored all of us not to speak. Now they are all coming out now. So let me say it now. Are we all pretending that the Democrats in the US rely on these illegal migrants who come in so that later on they will come and vote for them? We are not pretending. So it's their vote bank. You see why they're doing all this thing? Vote bank be that. Just like Nana Akufo-Addo introduced the free SHS, hoping that you go fast track and double track, single track, triple track, quadruple track, 50 track, head of Medusa track. I graduate time or education up way himpo. Atwa me nyo jugba ha me pasco me ana ma kasi pasco. Let them sit home for 3-4 months, no schooling. Let them sit home. You know? Because we don't care about the quality of the education. Let's just roll it out. But, hey, this case, how old are they? 14? 15? They are going to enter free SHS at 15 years. So, education minister, what are you saying? So by the time they will graduate and write the WAEC, how old would they be? 18. Charlie, hey. Voting age with that though. So if we give them the free SHS right now, where they get there, Charlie, we go figure like 50-60% of their votes. Yeah. Politicians have they full rough. They don't really think about tomorrow. They really think about how they go secure them a re-election. That is all this has appealing. Democrats don't want to own up to it. But the fact is, the biggest vote bank they have is illegal immigrants or immigrants. That is how come you see almost every immigrant voting. You watching me right now. Are you an immigrant? You entered the US with a visa, huh? Why are you a Democrat? You see, I catch you. I catch you. You be Democrat because of immigration. No be so. Because they do you say be done way that they do immigration where they favor you. No be so. Myself, I used to believe that too. But later you open your eyes, you go see, say, Charlie, this is for them agenda be big. Today, you when you get a visa, go US, student visa. Tomorrow, the job you know will get. Because the people where they pour from Mexico under the soil, you see, under. Some of them, they pass under. You see, they pass under the entire US. They already can't take all the jobs. I see international students now who are now advocating for control of immigration in Canada. I see it. I talk to them. Let me say this. You didn't hear me here. I am seeing international students from my country, Ghana, home country, Nigeria, other African countries. And they are telling me, no, they need to reduce. I say, by you. By you, how did you enter the country? By you came here with a visa, so you don't want other people to come. And then they say, Choco, but brother, we are plenty. We are plenty. We cannot. So after they are vented, they say, no, they should allow others to. But there is a reason why they are expressing such sentiments. Because after the visa, there is something called life. The life in Canada after the visa, it's not easy. The life in US after entering US, it will be easy. That person where he did US right now, where he get visa, you know they get job. That person he did Canada, he get visa, you know they get. In fact, just this morning, I spoke to a woman and a husband. Their biggest headache, talking to me on the phone for almost 1 hour, is that my wife is in Canada doing her master's degree. She cannot get a job. And this is somebody who was working a big-time job in Ghana. Left, even to get petty jobs here, she cannot get it. But do you know why the pressure has come on this? Okay, that's not just one area. I have several, oh my goodness. Should I open some for you to see? Several asylum seekers who are not yet refugees, who have valid work permits that they've been given because they are asylum seekers, who cannot find jobs in Canada. They can't find jobs. Sometimes if we open some, make people see, then they will know, they understand the reality. You see what I mean? I cannot find job. I can type this one. They will pop out. Okay. Help me find work. Okay. Let me look for. Plenty. The majority of them are in the Niagara Falls here, hotels. They are in the hotels. If you are in Niagara Falls and you're watching me, you know your deadline is coming up. They are about to evacuate. In the next few days, majority of the asylum seekers living in government hotels will be asked to leave. The government is saying basically they cannot continue paying for the expensive hotels for them. They will ask them all to leave. Now, the majority of them don't have a job yet. Some of them may have already found a job. Some don't have. Some are still looking. They've been housed in hotels. The government is feeling the pressure. So they're going to ask them to leave and go find their own places to rent. Of course, the government will still be supporting them financially. But I'm telling you, majority of these asylum seekers, they don't have a job. They don't have a job. Just like in the US, people will be complaining they don't have a job. Even though the US situation is probably better than Canada. Canada, when I know, they're no good cry because we don't create. We are not creating as much as our Americans create. You know? Our economy is overly reliant on the American economy. If you're a Canadian here watching me, look at the facts. Am I saying the truth? We are overly reliant on the American economy. So when the US decides to turn the taps down a little bit, we feel the pinch here more. You see it? When they tumble a little bit, we also feel it here. And our loonie or our dollar just slumps. Because we are not growing from within. We are not growing from within. Over-reliance on China. Over-reliance on other countries. That's the problem. And in all of this, immigration is not getting controlled reasonably. Just open. The US, probably the worst example in Northern America, because their border has been just so loose in the last 10 years. In the last 10 years alone, probably about 11 to 12 million illegals have entered. These people will have to be fed by the government, taken care of by the government, until at a point. What do you think the Americans will say? Would they be happy about it? Not because they are not hospitable. They just don't like the fact that they are not getting that. They are getting taxed the more when they work. In fact, when they do the overtime, some of these things you understand it when you begin paying the taxes. Especially when you begin doing 2-3 jobs and then the tax hits you like that. You see? And then you realize that you are not the one sleeping and getting all these benefits back. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't worry. I say it always makes sense at one time. At the beginning, you say it won't make sense. When you begin paying the taxes and see where the monies are going to, then you see it better. Very dicey situation. I think the Democrats overhit. Trump is not against legal migration. He's for people who get their visas to come in. He just thinks that the border needs to be controlled. Open border policy destroys any country. Watch it. Human beings, you secure your doors. You secure your children's room, your car, you lock it twice. You use your remote sensor to check if it's locked. Why don't you leave it open? Since you believe in open border. You wouldn't do that, isn't it? When you're driving and you see your mates, your windows are tight up. Car window, right? Because that's human nature. We protect our spaces. So the Americans are not wrong for doing that. Look in the UK, they're dealing with the same problem. There is something called reasonability. If we don't apply reason in doing things and we overhit. You see that? See right now in Ghana, right? My home country, Ghana. Do you know illegally you can enter Ghana without having to? Those who have been going through Aflawo, they will tell you can pass through some place and enter. You see, but it hasn't gotten to a scale where it's a problem, right? Now, let's wake up one day and then you have millions of people entering. You know what I mean? Not only that, and then maybe these people, some of them are causing problems here and there. You see, I just told you this morning, the report suggests that an undocumented person has. So, see, look in the news. Lincoln Riley. Look at it. Look at some of it. Do you remember what happened in New York on the subway? The gentleman who was deported once illegally because he came illegally, deported, went and second coming, he re-entered, second coming. You see what he did on the bus? He just did some small concussion like that and then he put it on somebody and just says, he said, this thing needs to be barbecued. We barbecue like that. does these things make a good case for illegal immigration? The answer is no. Google it. Those of you who understand what I just talked about, you know what I'm talking about. Google it. The same thing with Canada. Canada's illegal immigration went up crazily from 2017 when people realized that they could use the loopholes in Canadian immigration law versus the US to enter Canada. People started moving into Canada illegally from the US. They were not using official port of entries, such as where you have to submit your study permit, your documents and stuff. They were using the unofficial places. Quebec was a hitting spot. I've posted videos on this in the past. They will pick buses from New York, Vermont, name them, go to Rossum Road, and then use that pathway, which is not an official port of entry. And then the law said, don't send them away, let them come in. So you saw how many people came in. There were WhatsApp groups where the Indians were doing business. You know what I mean? Hey man, Canada is a place to go, and then boom, 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 boom. They would just bundle up and come. And some will tell you that when you come to Canada, it's much better than the US, you know? When you come in, the government will give you money, they put you in a hotel. I'm not saying don't do this, but I'm just saying, whilst you're doing it, then you also take care of your people. You know what I mean? When you don't take care of your people, it'll always come back and hurt. It will always come back. If you see, you don't just take care of one side and you leave the other. See what I mean? Think of it like this. You have a child, 2 kids, they are home, they are hungry, you ain't giving them food. Then a stranger comes in, you give the stranger food, you feed them, you put them for your master bedroom. You know what I mean? Come on, this one. Before you go get out your children, they will hang you. They will hang you upside down. They will crucify you upside down. That's basically what happened here. All right. All right. Consequences of the U.S. election. The U.S. election is also coming in at a time where the cultural war is at the highest peak. This is a taboo topic, people. This is a monologue. I'm just talking. Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying the analysis? No matter how biased you think it is, how factless you think it is, are you enjoying it? If yes, hit the like button and drop your comments. Let me know what you think. I'm keeping my eye on the screen, hoping to catch your comments that are coming, okay? Manji K. Trump. Oh, why am I catching just your comments? People will think I'm just liking you. Your name is also Trump at the end. Let me skip yours and read somebody. So, May Gono, May or My Gono. True, getting a job in Canada is now a miracle. All right. Onalade Price. Yes, you are, bro. May Gono, my children are blessed. We came here a long time ago. All right, thank you. Let me take other comments on the screen. Dominic Ebere. All the executive orders will be subject to the Constitution. It is not easy. Yes, some of them are easy as anything. Just the same way Joe Biden did it. Remember how Joe Biden signed so many of them? He was smiling when he signed them. That's basically what Trump is doing. Some of them are easy as anything. He doesn't need to go through. He has a majority on his side already. He controls the House. He controls the Senate. He controls the Supreme Court. Some of them will not be easy, like the birthright citizenship. It has to go through a whole lot of, because the birthright citizenship is not just about having majority in the House. So you pass it. No, you have to go through all kinds of levels of further. You know what I mean? Because there's a big one. You understand what I mean? You are taking people's citizenship away. So that one is big. That is the one that will really, really, really stretch out. Even though he has a majority, he still will struggle with that. But all the other ones, they are easy peasy. Like, easy peasy. Easy peasy. All right? That's what I think. All right. Megono, South Africa will never allow that even for legal people. Okay. That's from Megono. Okay. Abayomi Victor Adiza. Can you please pin the app in this video? The app, I've actually pinned it under the video of the woman who was crying behind the border wall. If you look in the comment section, I actually pinned it there. So click on it, the link, go there and read it yourself. I actually took a screenshot as well and I posted it. So please take a look at that, all right? Yeah, I don't blame Trump for his policy on immigration. No nation will want the influx of foreigners. In Nigeria here, our politicians used to hire killers, I like how you put it there, from neighboring countries like, okay, I don't want to mention any country before people start getting offended, because right now people get offended for easy things, right? Neighboring countries like, okay, and chat them here to cause what? Unrest. They bring them in and register them to vote. All right. So if what he's saying is true, pretty much that is the same thing you're saying around here. The US itself. All right. All right. Josephine Sewa. Not easy. Stanley. Ihe Jirika. Choco. Is this job crisis also a first PR applicant? Charlie, the job situation in Canada is not just affecting. Look, I don't think it was that bad about a year and a half ago. A year and a half ago, it was still easy to find jobs. You know what I mean? The thing is that immigration has changed so much in the last 12 months. So if you look at some of my old videos, you never heard me really hate the government like this, right? If you've been following my channel for a long time, you never really see me do videos like this where I'm really focusing on government decisions and stuff. But in the last, you see, because I am actually I began looking at the data, and it's not looking good. There are many people in Canada who came with visas and they are struggling to just find a job to do to keep themselves up. And the depression level here is high. I said I just literally talked to a woman doing her master's degree in Canada here. Very, very good course. She says she can't find a job. For how long now has she been here? She actually transferred from a college to a master's program. She still cannot find a job. So this woman, the question she asked me, look at me. She said, look, Choco, my husband can come and, if she's watching this video, I know she wouldn't take an offense because I'm not mentioning her name and I'm not going into too much details as well. So please, apologies there. I just want to educate people with this. The husband is in a position where he can get a work permit to come into Canada and blah, blah, blah. In fact, the man has a work permit. But the woman said, no, Charlie, the thing, if I look at the stress I'm going through, I don't think I want my husband to leave his good job back home. The man has a really good job back home. Really, really good job back home. Why should I let him leave that good job and then come here and then Charlie, even the cleaner ones that we know they find out. She said the common ones that we know they find out. So why should I tell my husband to come? But Choco, the way the team make, no, I want you to also listen to my husband and then tell him what you think. I don't know whether the husband was surprised. I was the one who told him that, boss, if you are making at least this month in Ghana and you are doing fine, there is no point in coming to Canada. At least let your wife be here and then work on her studies and finish and teach, postgraduate work permit and whatever. Don't come. Because the kind of job you are doing in Ghana right now, when you come here, even the common ones that we go chase them. I had to. Wait a minute, Choco. But 2 years ago, would you have said the same thing? No. 2 years ago, I would have told the person, well, when you come, you can pivot towards this area, pivot to. I was the one who was encouraging people, isn't it? But you see how they think it, because the data right now, they show say that things have changed so much. So I have to be honest in telling him the reality on the ground. You see what I mean? That's the reality on the ground. Cultural war. This election was not just an election based on immigration. This election was an election based on cultural war, ideological warfare. It is a very, very sensitive area, an area that has been censored heavily by all the media houses, including the one you're watching me on right now. They don't want us to talk about it because they are all compromised. Ideological warfare. That's what happened. That was what the election was about. Do you know the ideological warfare? Religious warfare, gender warfare, all kinds of warfare. That was what the election was about. It was not just about immigration. One school of thought wants to have their way like this. The other school of thought wants it this way. One school of thought wants to change everything that has ever existed and turn it upside down because they think everything is progressive. The other school of thought wants to protect and keep things the way they are. Which side are you at? One school of thought wants to control everything you say and think and write and talk. They say you have freedom, but they don't believe you have the freedom to write what you think. They don't think you have the freedom to speak what you think. They don't think you have the freedom to choose what you believe, whether it is worship or religion. They want to control it. They don't think you have the freedom to raise your children the way you want to, within the confines of the law, the boundaries of the law. They want to control that one. The other party, or the other school of thought, ideology, says, let's preserve things the way they are. Because this is what has built our civilization the way it is. This was a warfare on ideological and religious grounds. You see it? People have been censored. You can tell I'm speaking in proverb, right? That's how bad it is. The moment we begin talking about it, they target you. Yeah. So the election of Trump was a referendum on people's ideological position, beliefs. That is it. You saw one of the things he talked about? He declared officially that there are two genders. Did you hear it? You know, that became a taboo topic. You can't even talk about it anymore. Wait, but why can't you talk about it? Because the moment you talk about it, they come for you. You can't. It even became a crime at a point to say you are a man. A bonsai. It even became a crime to say you were a woman. Democracies that say they are the examples for the world to follow. It became a crime. You literally have no say on your child. Do you understand that? And I know look guys, I was once there. Some of you are so ignorant, not because you are ignorant, but you just don't know. Not because you don't want to know, but because the media has hidden they've been hiding the reality from you. You don't know. The same way they hid it from me too. Okay, guys. Does anybody know why Elon Musk bought Twitter? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. I say let's have a discourse. Trump saying when he can freedom everywhere. You heard a preacher man at Trump's inauguration. He said freedom, I can feel it in the air. Do you understand what he said? That people can, for the first time I'm able to begin to talk about things like this. If Zuckerberg, they like, make it, if YouTube, if they like, they should target my channel. I will report them to Donald Trump. I be all day, they line up, they go beg Trump for this thing. After all the nonsense they put all of us through. Targeting us because of our religious beliefs. Not because we are the what? Hi. Targeting us because we believe in something. How? So here's a question to you. Because I know you believe in one or the other. So let me ask the question. Does anybody here watching know the real reason why Elon Musk bought Twitter? Comment below. Let's see whether you got it right. I'm going to read it. Let's all read it. Does anybody know why Elon Musk bought Twitter? What was the single factor that drove Elon Musk to buy Twitter? Let's have a conversation. Tag your friends. Share this video. Let people watch it because we need to start educating people. Now that a new boss is in the building, let's use this opportunity to talk about all the hidden things that have been going on. Who knows why Elon Musk bought Twitter? Some of you are so ignorant, you just hate the man. Yet this is the most important human being. Not because he's a Christian. You know, that guy is not even a Christian. By the way, he's from South Africa. That's why he cannot become a US president. Because he was born in South Africa. But if dude was born in US, then you can say he could become a US president. Ola, the classic sage. Elon bought Twitter to challenge the mainstream media. Wrong. That's not the main reason he bought it. Mia Shuaka to support Donald Trump. Wrong. That's not the main reason why. In fact, at the time he bought Twitter, Donald Trump was not even in the building. He was not even declared a candidate for the Republican Party. Simon Sebuliba, Elon Musk bought Twitter to end government and big tent censorship. Somehow true, but not exactly. To promote free speech, not exactly. So, you see the reasons people are giving? Let's see. He himself, he said it too. He said it. Galileo LLC. Elon bought Twitter due to excessive censorship and controversial suspension of Donald. Okay, thank you, of Donald Trump. Thank you. That's not exactly it. G. Elon decided to buy Twitter to fight woke nonsense. Elizabeth Ohuamen. Let me take my time and pronounce it. That's how you also take your time to pronounce my name. Don't say Chokomilo. My name is not Chokomilo. Elizabeth Ohuamen. Read my. Oh, and I'm reading and then there was nothing after the read my. Elizabeth, please come back and post it there. I think your comments may have passed. All right. Juliana Lozano. He bought Twitter to allow people the freedom to speak without censorship. Naomi Matthews to help rig elections. Matilda Mensah, free speech around the globe. Elizabeth Ohuame is here. It's up. He lost his child. Give it to Elizabeth. Something happened to Elon Musk's child. That's your homework. Go and find out. The reason the man is fighting that industry is because of what happens to his child. Go and read it. He said it himself. And people think this is about just Trump, free speech. Something happened to the man and changed him. He said he was deceived during COVID to sign some paperwork that caused him to lose his child. Go read it. And from that day, he vowed a war on them. That is the reason. So you see, if you didn't know this was what drove him, now you know. You probably misunderstood him. All this while you think he's just interested in what? Dude is the richest man walking alive. Ever. Richest man ever. And he's from South Africa, by the way. Now American. We don't understand the things going on behind the scene. Do you know why you are not even seeing some of this information? Because they won't let you see it. They're controlling everything. When we make a post, they control it and censor it. Have some of you wondered why you don't even see my videos anymore? You don't get notifications? Have you wondered why? The moment we began speaking like this, they turned the algorithm against us. If you were in Elon Musk's position, would you do what he's doing? The viruses that targeted his family, he said it's after those viruses. You think the man will stop? The cultural war on people's faith, what people believe. Some of the things we can't even talk about them because they are heavily censoring. Do you know how many times they put security forces in churches to monitor Catholic priests and what they're preaching, just so they can just slap them with all kind of stuff. How people have been disqualified from getting jobs because of their faith and what they believe. Why should this be the factor of deciding? And then putting the wrong people in positions, people who are not qualified, not based on merit, all because of an agenda. So what happens to merit-based system now? And they say, shh, you all can't talk, we'll come after you. How? This election was about that. This election was about that. You see it? As some of you don't even know what you are believing. There used to be a time when you hear somebody say, they go do abortion, you think, oh, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months pregnant. Oh, prego, 2-3 months. This one is just early stage. Right now, they take the thing. The thing has entered new level. New level. Do you know the new level? Homeboy, go and find out. New level. New level. Some of them, we can't even play it because they will censor it. New level. New level. New level. Do you hear what I say? I say new level. It's your homework. Go and research it. You can't even play it. I have some of them on my phone. You can't even put it online because they'll take you down. Yet, this is what they are doing behind the scene. They don't want you to know. And today, you don't see it. It is your children who will come and suffer these things. Your little girl, from 8, 9, 10, when they begin targeting, you know what I mean? All those things they are doing behind the scene, targeting the little ones. So is it? I mean, they tell you say 2024 the things go start to catch fire. When Cat Williams said 2024, things are going to catch fire. He meant it to prophetically. The guy was speaking. He said 2024, oh my God. He said, it's this side versus the other side. 2024, things are going to begin to catch fire. That's what he meant. See how things are beginning to catch fire now. I'm not talking about California fire. I'm talking about things are beginning to come out. Because there is a whole world out there, the underworld, that is operating, and they don't want you to see what is happening. Before you realize, it's too late. It is what it is. Final reason why Trump's second coming is the most consequential in, I believe, U.S. election history. It's because he came with a renewed popular mandate. You know, in 2016, he didn't have control, They distracted him with all the allegations from Russian interference, how many lasted his entire term, you know, impeachment here and there, Russian gate, name them, all the things, because he didn't have the control. When I say control, he didn't have the control in the house. But the second coming of Trump, he's in a better position where he has control everywhere. In 2016, one of the things his critics said was that you may have won the election, but you don't have the popular vote of the people behind you. Well, this time around, he won both the election and the popular vote. So meaning he won hands down everywhere. That is why the second coming is more serious. The global implication of this is that it will affect Europe the more. Europe. Please, watch what I'm saying here. If you've been following me for about a year or so, you know I've been giving you some of this long runs, telling you things that are happening. And if you've been faithful, you know I've been calling some of these things out before they happen. Trump's election is going to change Europe. The democratic system or institutions in Europe are so weak. They've been hijacked. So weak. Now, if you're worried about censorship in North America, forget it until you get to Europe. In Europe, you could literally be put in jail over a social media post. Are you aware that in places like the UK, you could literally be put into, you could be sentenced for years just over a social media post? So you see what I'm doing right now? If I was in the UK, oh my God, by the time I finish, oh my God, my bum is heading straight to jail. That's how bad it is. In Europe, there you not talk about it. They don't have free speech the way we do have in North America. No. Europe fell a long time ago, and they've been declining at a faster, ridiculous rate. The most important thing is that they picked the wrong guy to fight. You see, some of them didn't know Trump would win. They had a wrong bet. If these guys were doing super bet, they would have bet. They are betting like they got the wrong. Is it the odds? They got it wrong. When Trump was facing all these challenges, they obviously made it known to him they didn't like him. How come Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK, was not invited to Trump's inauguration? Do you know he was not invited? Just imagine me telling you UK Prime Minister was not invited. How? The whole UK not invited. US presidential inauguration. How? Because these countries in Europe, some of them made it so obvious. So obvious, man. So obvious that they will belong to the other side. To the point that members of the Labour Party came to campaign in the US, in a US election, to help one candidate. Have you seen some before? Just imagine me telling you, Tinubu has sent members of his party have come to Ghana to campaign for John Mahama in the election. How would that make sense? But that is what happened. France, another messed up place. Messed up big time. Messed up big time. Germany, oh my goodness. You don't talk about this. In fact, you are not even, in fact, some of you don't even know what is happening right now in these countries. Right now, you don't know. Because mainstream media will show you. Will they show you? They will show you. They will give you the colored TV ones to watch. They won't let you see what is really happening in Europe. They won't let you see how bad things are getting in Europe. How fast Europe is slipping into communist republics. That these countries that were built on democratic principles, a country like France built on liberté, égalité, fraternité. Look at them today. They don't believe in these things anymore. Go try and speak your mind. You end up in jail. Go try and speak your mind. You end up in jail. But they say this republic was built on liberté, égalité, fraternité. All of them thrown to the garbage. Go look at the UK, Commonwealth. We believe in, all of a sudden, they don't believe in them anymore. Ordinary Brits are thrown in jail over petty things. And when they decide to protest, they are silenced. They are jailed. They go after them. You see? I said they messed up with the wrong guy. I'm not telling you they will do it. Look, Elon Musk, the most consequential man today in the world, has started going after some of these countries already. How is he going after them? It's your research to find out. That is why I think the election of Trump will change the face of Europe. He didn't invite your prime minister. The entire Europe economy has been sinking and sinking. Do you know? Some few years back, the European economy was so good. Today, America's economy alone is more than the entire Europe combined. Of course, take Russia out. But what is happening? Then Brexit, when Brexit started, this was just the beginning of things. Because they were wondering, what is happening? What is happening? Why? Wow. And then they also have a big immigration problem, right? In Europe, they have a big immigration problem, right? Yeah. Big, very, very big immigration problem too. And the immigration problem is not just about the legal migration. Actually, there are illegal immigration problem where people are just, you know what I mean? Oh, yes. 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 Thanks to George Soros, who was awarded a presidential medal recently. Thanks to his open border global agenda, where just open borders and just bring, whether they are bad guys or good guys, just bring them all in. Just, you know what I mean? Somebody just sent me this. Let me just see. Hey, thank you for sending me the information. Let me read it. Under the new rule, any child born after February 19, 20... I probably should read this first in my head before reading out. Before I... Okay. Oh, this is big. Should I read it? Okay. So under the new rule, any child born after February 19, 2025 to parents who are lawfully present in the U.S. but on temporary visas such as H-1Bs, H-4s, or student visas will no longer receive automatic citizenship. Trump, but why Trump? Hey, this one, yeah, Trump, Charlie, do Trump. This one, they will cause problem. Hi, just imagine international students where they US where they study, woman and husband, the husband is studying, the woman is there. Wait, body do body, we touch and small, we preg. Boy, say the child what? So the child with them born for their way, the woman they go school, or the man they go school. The child make you go 10 Ghana citizen or Iraq citizen. This one, I know they agree with this Trump. I hope say it not be true, but that be what somebody just sent to me right now. I hope it's not true. I think that is no, this one, because this anyway. Could Canada also be going this way? I just don't know. I don't think the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre in Canada, will go that extreme of touching the citizenship aspect. I think he may be focusing on immigration and a few other areas, but I don't think he will go to the extreme that Trump has gone to target the citizenship part. Wow. Charlie, H-1B, student visas, and hey. So right now, if you born your child for US, will you be student visa? I beg, have you seen this update? Somebody just sent it to me. Yeah. Wow. I just thought it was just about the illegal, the undocumented folks. You know what I mean? I didn't think. Somebody just sent me this. Let me know what you think. Is that the case? Yeah. G. Canada needs to be invaded by America. Oh, the last time they tried, they lost. So that's what somebody just said. The last time the USA. So you mean America should come and invade Canada? That's what you said. Canada needs to be invaded by America. So you want America to come and invade Canada. The last time US tried, they lost. Oh. Please go and read about the Battle of 1812. The Battle of 1812 between Canada and US. The last time you guys tried, you lost. So right now, I don't say if you try right now, Charlie. Because California alone is bigger than Canada in terms of population, right? So I don't think it's something that they should even be thinking about. But US is in a better position, superpower, serious superpower. Anyway, so guys, I personally think that what Trump will do in the next 4 years will change Europe. First of all, look at it. He just withdrew the United States from World Health Organization, US contributes 15% of what? The revenue that WHO actually makes. You know what I mean? Trump just pulled the US out of it because they have so many issues with them. Trump's government has so many issues with them. Foreign aid. America plays a very big role in foreign aid. They just put that on hold. That means pressure will go on Europe, isn't it? Okay. The next one, even NATO. You can talk about NATO. You can imagine what Trump would do. Russia, Ukraine war. You can tell what is happening. What do you think will be Trump's position? It could change the way things will happen in that area of NATO. You know, the situation, probably, let me not go into the Middle East because it's not in Europe, but whatever Trump will do will be, because Europe is broke. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right now, Europe is just broke. And America has actually been carrying them in many ways. So if Trump begins to pull all the carpets underneath Europe right now, Europe's economy will suffer. That's what I'm just trying to say. Europe's economy is broke. The GDP has dropped big time in the last years, just like Canada's GDP has dropped. So if anything goes that way and Trump begins to call the shots on Europe, Europe will suffer. Especially the UK, which is no longer that superpower it used to be. The UK has become so ordinary now. It has its own crisis from within too. Tensions, cultural tensions, and religious tension within. And think about it. France, they clearly don't even have a leader because the leader is going through all kind of crisis himself. Macron is going through all kinds of crisis himself. What about Germany? Well, they will be voting just in the next few days. In February, Germany will be voting because the government lost vote of confidence. It became so unpopular that the people just basically don't want the government anymore. They couldn't organize government. So as we speak right now, Germany is heading into an early election. So you see the things happening? Look at Netherlands. Netherlands also just made a decision recently. So if you look at it, remember when I said that there is a right-wing populism or nationalism wind blowing? That's what I was talking about. That it looks as if the left wing control or wind that was blowing for the last 10 years, all of a sudden, the wind has started blowing towards the right. Meaning, there is a tendency that what people call wokeness will be under serious scrutiny from now going on. Are you woke? Let me know. Let me know. What do you think? Do you think there is a right-wing wind blowing right now? I think so. I talked about this months ago, even a year ago, and I said this was going to happen, if you recall. I predicted what will happen in the US, if you've been following me. I also said something will happen in Canada. You can see it play. In fact, before they started cutting immigration policies, if you've been following me, you know I said these things were going to happen, right? And you're seeing them happen right now. Europe will go through a remarkable shift because the problems in Europe, both immigration, cultural war, ideological war, censorship, the loss of freedom has gotten to a crisis point. And patriots or people are beginning to rise up. And they no longer even care about mainstream political parties. They are just rallying around people who will just speak that language of nationalism, fighting for the people. That is it. Look at it. Nigel Farage, who you wouldn't have even considered at all. All of a sudden, Nigel Farage is gaining momentum in the UK as an outside party. Look at Germany. All of a sudden, look at the political parties that are just, you know what I mean? Gaining momentum. It's not your CDU, It is not your regular, what party. You get in parties like the AFD, just gaining momentum. And it's not because they are just because people are just at the point where they are looking for somebody that will speak that nationalistic language of fighting for the citizen, fighting, and then they begin to rally around them. So watch out and see how things will play out in Europe in the next 4 years. Hopefully we can come back and digest and see what things are. Yeah, let me read this comment. Brother Man says Andrew Tate is coming up in the UK. Yes. If you've been following the news in the UK, you know Andrew Tate, who is a private man from Romania, UK, whatever. You know he's declared that he's going to run for election. He's going to run. And look, if Andrew Tate does not even clinch the berth to be to run, or his party doesn't even make it, he's going to cause a massive damage to the ruling party. Massive damage. Those kind of parties that when they come, they are just coming to chop your votes. You know what I mean? That's what Tate will do. His party is called the Brov party. Bro party. And he said it openly. He said, look, even if I don't win, I want you guys to take people seriously. 2, I want you to know that you're going to lose vote because they are coming in. Nigel Farage is running. I don't know whether Farage will get that far, since recently Elon Musk pulled his support from him. I don't know how far he's going to go. But Andrew Tate is stepping forward, and he's a very populist person. Young people gravitate towards Andrew Tate, not because morally he's there, but because they just want somebody who can stand up against the establishment, the legacy system. And Tate is stepping forward. I'm not endorsing anybody by you. I'm just telling you what is happening, because you ain't going to hear them here. You see here, you are not going go around and go and look for videos. Do you see any YouTuber giving you this? They are busy telling you, come to Canada. So they are not telling you what is happening on the ground. Anyway, so we will give you what is happening on the ground when you need to. See what I mean? Things are happening. Shine your eyes. Because right now, this place is where they go to. Hey, by the way, make I add this one for you side. Recently, Canadians now need an ETA to go to UK. Before Canadians, you don't need that though. You carry your Canada passport, you just go UK. Right now, you apply for ETA. And they say it is because of the tensions and the security issues in the UK. So because of that, they are telling you tensions in the UK, security issues in the UK. Go and read it on their website. They say because of security issues. So because of that, right now, Canadians who want to go to UK have to apply for an ETA. Electronic Travel Authorization, just to enter. You see how things are going on. The UK right now, you make something. Yeah, if you have our brothers living there, let them tell you. Some of them will tell you they live in parts of UK where these things are not happening, so they are safe. But the truth is that UK is going through a serious pressure right now, and it's ideological. It's so many things there in the UK, and I honestly don't think Keir Starmer will survive it. I think he's going to cave in at a point. Right now, he's just standing up and resisting all the pressure because he has a mandate to be in power for how long. But I think at a point, the pressure will catch up with him. Because this is how it started in the US. This is how it started in Canada. When the people begin and you are not attending to them, you pretend like they are not making legitimate claims, and then the numbers just keep, and especially with that is why they don't like social media. They don't like social media because social media allows people. You see, those days, can you imagine? Choco Millionaire on GTV, TV3, talking about this. Who is going to give me the platform? Sure, me that I don't even shave my beard and my face. They won't. But social media, you see, people are getting the messages now. Even though they are censoring them, people are still getting information. And the good news is that freedom here, the more you censor it, the more people will fight it. Simple as that. The more you censor people, the more people will fight. By the way, China, I forgot to talk about this one. The one thing that, I don't know, I used to be very skeptical about tariffs. I did political science, political economy, read all of that. So I'm not a big fan of tariffs because the reasoning behind tariff, I think at the time I was in school, I just thought it was just It wasn't based on liberal market ideas and doesn't promote, capitalism in a fair manner to allow people to get access to what they really want. I thought it was just a form of like dictatorship, something like that, like tariff, economic dictatorship, by the way. But then I've been researching a little bit. Did you know that the US used to raise majority of its monies from tariffs in the past? From 1864, all the way to the 19th century, all the way to 1980 something thereabout. Yeah, 1864 to 1970 something thereabout. The US largely generated this money from tariffs. They had income tax that was introduced in the 1864 thereabout by Lincoln, and it was about 5%. That was even what, 5% on a $10,000 income and stuff like that. It was very low, but majority of their revenue came from tariffs. And the reasoning behind they using tariff was that they wanted to finance the cost of their civil war. They were going through some wars at that time, and they needed to raise money to be able to keep the cost going, or to carry the cost, and tariffs helped them to raise it. So what they did was that they imposed as much as 90% tariff on foreign imports or goods, with the intention that it will allow local manufacturers to take the opportunity and then produce the things that they needed for the war economy. Yes. So at a point, people were literally almost not paying taxes. Taxes became more popular from the 1970, 80 thereabout. That was when taxes became more popular. You see that? The Marshall Plan, if you're familiar with it, after this, the Second World War and stuff like that, when US supported Europe's rebuild and all of that, right? It was after that period that this guy started aggressively doing more taxes that we have today. Now, there have been suggestions that some of the people Trump is putting in the financial positions, some of them are thinking about the possibility of going back to tariffs and scrapping taxes. I don't know whether that will happen, but they've been thinking about the fact that the IRS, Internal Revenue of the US, is just taking people's money and people's money and people's money. They think they can raise it through tariff from foreign countries. So hit China with tariff, hit Europe with tariff, tariff Canada. I'm not saying they should, I'm just telling you what they are planning to do, right? If this is their ideology. So let's put 90%, 25% tariff on goods from Canada. Let's put 90% from China, which is ripping us anyway, stealing our intellectual property. They steal all the intellectual property from US, and then they turn it to build their Chinese economy. And then let's tariff Europe so that Europe can learn to be by themselves and build their own economy. And then, but wait a minute, if you're going to tariff them, the cost of the product from those countries are going to be expensive, right? So what is the alternative? The alternative is that incentivize local manufacturers. Let American businesses produce those goods that Chinese would have produced, right? Give them tax breaks. Let them produce so that the cost is low. It sounds easy to do on paper, isn't it? Yeah. Would the Americans be able to do that? I think they will, because they've done it. They're superpowers. They can do it. They can produce everything they want from within. And whether you like it or not, guys, at some point, you have to be real. Is that not what China is doing? Why is it that you can't export things to China just like that? Why is it that China is not allowing all kinds of businesses into China? Why is it that China will want to have TikTok over here, but you can't have other companies in China? Because they are basically doing the same thing. China will rather export to you, but they won't let you bring yours in. Same thing, because that is how come they are winning the game. Hey, I'm just telling you, look at the data. It is what it is. Can you export your product to China to go and sell? Would they allow you to export? You've built an app. Would they allow you to publish their app in China? No. Why? Because they are stopping foreigners from bringing things in so that they can empower Chinese companies. You see that? Yes. And they believe over time, you're going to give your local manufacturers the opportunity to build, become more competitive and globally compete now. It's called import substitution. Make it difficult for people to bring it in, empower the people down there to do it. That is how China has been winning. Where was China until 2001, by the way? Nobody. Within 24 years, look at China. Because that is exactly how they've done it. They have only liberalized their export, meaning they should be free to export. But then, no coming in. How? Okay, TikTok. Use it. By you cannot bring your app in China. How? Even in China, they won't even allow you to watch this program. Are you watching me from China? Are you watching it? You are using VPN, no be so. They won't let you to even watch it. Because they are doing exactly what the superpowers do to get to power. That is the language Trump is speaking. It's not new. They've done it before. When taxes were not the thing. They were raising all their money from tariff. And guess what? The Chinese economy cannot survive it. Oh. If every country begins to use this approach, Chinese economy will collapse. I tell you. If you say you're going to put tariffs on Chinese product coming into Ghana or Africa, huge tariff, Chinese economy will collapse. They cannot consume what they are producing. Ridiculous rate. They can't produce. They can't do it. If America alone says they are tariffing China ridiculously and they have the support of the people back home, America will survive it because they can produce what they need. America alone, they can produce what they need. And whether you like it or not, okay, maybe I shouldn't go into that. You know what I'm trying to say, right? When you come here, look, guys, maybe I should just end the video here. Look, how do I even say it? The things you see on Amazon, AliExpress, where do you think they're coming from? China. Cheap, isn't it? Yes. Sometimes you buy this, you think you are going to get this quality or grade, you come and then they give you grade C or D. Right? All right. All the monies are coming from Europe and North America and Africa to China. Yet, they are not liberalizing for us to... How? It doesn't make sense. But nobody is calling China out, isn't it? Is somebody calling China out? No. That's exactly what Trump wants to do. It is a fact that China has been stealing intellectual property from other countries. Am I lying? Am I lying? Are they not stealing intellectual property? Hacking and stealing people's intellectual properties, and then they go and produce them. Right now, about 60% or more of the electric vehicle industry controlled by China. They control the drone. The drone in my house here, is it even watching me? There is a drone there. Is it watching me? From China. So, it is one way or the other. You either fight. You either decide that you're promoting the capitalist, should I say capitalist, this world order civilization which is on, or you fight it, because China is a different monster. When they get to when China, you see, this thing happening is a serious cultural war. Samuel Huntington, the clash of civilization. He said these things are all going to happen. May he so rest in peace. People think it's just a solo thing happening. It's a serious cultural war happening right now. Serious hegemonic war. Serious, all kinds of wars, ideological wars happening right now. And it's at a serious pace right now compared to how it was before. Cold War era said be small. What is happening right now? You look at the different front of wars happening right now. Do you know George Soros, by the way? Go and read into George Soros. These very guys who want to undermine Europe, undermine the Western countries, destroy the foundations of the Western. They are the guys that were awarded by Joe Biden. Do you know George Soros? Do you know what he stands for? Eh? The people who want to destroy the foundation of the Western civilization. They are the ones who were receiving award. George Soros, they were the ones receiving award. Presidential awards. Yet, Charlie, we don't get sense so. The people who are... Look, hi, Joe Biden, he cost in party war. Joe Biden, if Joe Biden cost him party big time. So you look at this. Elon Musk way he did there, what the guy has achieved within his short life, nobody has ever done in this world. Do you know how much they were spending to fly one rocket into space? Billions of dollars, millions of dollars. Today, the guy has made it cheaper to do the same thing. Do you know how expensive it is to use internet? Very expensive. Some places cannot even access internet. Today, literally, Elon Musk has made it possible for you to access internet without even needing gadgets at a far cheaper cost. When this guy was a Democrat, you were not recognizing his work. You chose to award people and then you isolated Elon Musk. The genius we rarely see in a lifetime or generations or in centuries. But look at what the guy is doing. You people think it's video game. When you watch, you think it's sci-fi movie. Have you seen the things Elon Musk is doing? Have you heard it before? Do you know how many centuries we've lived without making this kind of progress in space, in astronomy? And this guy, yet he's changed the way we do things. By the way, if his Starship project goes successful, which I doubt, Elon Musk, even if the guy, he listen testicle sell for this thing, we forgo buy the stock, so because the guy, he be genius. You know the born arm. God bless South Africa, man. South Africa for giving us this guy. Correct, we need, please. Is Julius Malema like? I don't know whether Julius Malema is also like Elon Musk. South Africa, actually, good things they come from there. Wow. You understand what I mean? Good things come from South Africa. If his Starship project, you don't understand why he was so happy yesterday when he gave that speech. Do you know if Elon Musk's Starship project goes as planned, he could disrupt the entire universe in many ways positively? Flight from Accra to London, that takes 6 to 7 hours. You could be doing it in 30 minutes. Do you know that? Or you don't know? Flight that should be taking you 23 hours. Do you know you could be doing it in 45 minutes? The thing you know the believer, man. Don't worry. But if you know the believer, me, I tell you, see what the guy has already done within this short time of his life. Can you name any human being who has done this before? Maybe 1 or 2 or 3, the Einsteins and co. How many? So such a person, regardless of their political ideology, you protect them. That is what the Democrats failed to do. That, in my opinion, was the number one thing that caused them the election. You lost somebody like Elon Musk who was in your camp. You don't lose them. It's like you losing Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't lose this kind of people just like that. You see that the day Ronaldo walked out of Manchester United, this is the like Coco. Don't they understand? They sack the coach, they bring another one, they are worse. They sack another one, they bring another star. Ronaldo was telling them the problems. They don't understand. There are some people you keep them. Because those people are born once in generations. Elon Musk, he needs to be protected. What he's doing is not just saving the Western civilization, but it's changing things. You do not understand. Are you using Starlink right now? Do you know how the telecos, sorry, did I say telecos? Yeah, the telecom companies don't wish you even use them. Because they want to hook you on those expensive data bundles. A time will come, nobody will be using telecom companies anymore. Did you mark my words? A time will come, nobody will be using telecom companies anymore. Because it will become so cheap and almost cheap to make calls, almost cheap to use internet without needing those data bundles. A time will come, these airlines that have been ripping us with expensive flight tickets, a time will come, their planes will become restaurants. They are diluting it with water. Water. A time will come. A time will come. Nobody will be using this expensive fuel they are selling to all of us. See what I mean? You see, this cancer way they take, destroy people. See, or some of these diseases with them now they manufacture. Oh, they say my audio is gone. Is my audio gone? Is the audio gone? Somebody should let me know. Let me know if I'm back. A call came through and interrupted. I was broadcasting from my cell phone. You are muted. Ooh la la. Am I muted? Is it good? Yes. A time will come. It's back? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. A time will come. Just people watch it. Kenya, you are using Starlink, aren't you? Brazil's corrupt government is doing everything to prevent people from using Starlink and other things there because they are so corrupt. These governments, when Elon Musk wanted to offer Starlink to rural parts of Quebec in Canada at a much lower cost, ridiculous speed, our government decided to still not give him the contract. Do you know who they gave it to? Cronies, their own corrupt friends. That's what they did here in Canada, where they can make money. Because they know Elon Musk ain't going to take those monies and mess up his house with it. You see what I mean? Right now, Trump in government, you say they can't play a role. What is his role? Dodge, Department of Government Efficiency. First thing what they do, they say everybody for report to office. So, in other words, government worker with the Africa, where you know they report to office, by they collect salary. Elon Musk say, you go report to office. No, they report, don't they get money. You go work. Value for money. That's basically the same thing he's doing. Do you know how many people working for the US government are sitting home doing nothing, collecting big monies, going on unlimited vacations? Those days are all gone. Because right now they are going to you are going to pay, you are going to make sure you work your bum for the money. Simple as that. And those who are corrupt, do they like it? They don't like it. They don't like it. But Elon Musk is the most consequential person on the ticket of Trump. The Democrats should not have lost him. They sidelined him, pretending like he was not the guy behind the EV innovation that they are seeing in the US. Put him on the side. The same mistake California also made. Pretending like Elon Musk is not the one dominating the California market of EV. Sideline him, put him aside. Pretending like, and then you know what I mean? You pretend and you pretend, and the thing will come back and stink you in the face. Yet, countries like China are putting the support behind their people. Silently dominating. 70% dominating. Technology, controlling. Stealing your intellectual properties on top. Making sure your product is not going there, theirs is coming there. And they flood it cheap to make yours look useless. So right now, to buy pomo in Nigeria or wele in Ghana is even more expensive than to buy the one from China, which has been put on container and cap. How are we making? And our leaders, they are not seeing this. They are not empowering Akosombo tester, local fabrics that we used to sew in Ghana. Right now, say people are going to China to go and, you see, I hear say John Mahama in campaign t-shirts, where they manufacture, or did they manufacture it in Ghana or China? We're running into big problem, man. All right, let me use the next few minutes, 10 minutes of question time. Post your questions here. Post your questions here. Post your questions here. 10 minutes of questions. Post your questions. I'll take them. Remember, the gentleman you're watching is just an ordinary guy. I'm not a political, whatever. I don't work with any of the media. So whatever I share is my opinion. I own all the mistakes that I may have made in my monologue here. I'm up for correction. Correct me if I said some things that weren't true. I'm more than happy to take that. All right, please post your questions and I will read them. Brian Udesika Esomchi is back. Thank you. Chinyonga Muyoba is back. Thank you. Prosper Tete Aja, how are you doing, my brother? Is back. Thank you. Abanga Abdul Karim Ibrahim is back. Thank you. Abanga. Dennis Flav, you are back. Thank you. David Williams. Oh, now, okay, I now know the use of him tail. I don't understand this one. Lose it. Okay. No, the use of him tail till him lose it. I think you're trying to say that you never know the use of your tail until you lose it, right? That's what you're saying. Alexander Ajate from YouTube. Okay, what are you saying here? No, the audio is okay. Okay, thank you. Kweku Ajiman from Kweku, not a question. Just want to say you're very informative. Keep it up. Thank you so much. You know, I don't normally go. I just decided to because I think, look, Trump's coming is terrifying a lot of people. I think it is. Yeah. But we just have to admit that this is the reality. He's the man you're going to get for the next 4 years, especially if they don't succeed in taking him out. You know what I mean by taking him out? They've been attempted many times and they failed. There was one comment I read somewhere. The guy was like, "How did you miss? How did you miss that shot?" anyway, Adams Muntaka. Mine is a prayer. May Allah make you greater for sharing some of your knowledge to us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Marilyn Robinson, everything you are saying is so true. Okay, thank you for finding that. Sometimes I say the wrong things, by the way. Juliana Lozano, are you in the US? No, I'm in Canada, where we are struggling big time here, man. Canada is the snow is even beating us, right? You guys want to see the snow? I told you it's been snowing since the time I started, right? Let's look at it. I can flip the camera. Look, non-stop for the last how many days? Look at it. Can you see? Look at it. Can you see? Good. It's been snowing non-stop, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm in Canada. I'm in Ontario. I'm just probably about 15-20 minutes away from the US border here. Okay, what is your opinion about buying Greenland? My prediction is that I think Greenland will come true for US because the people in Greenland, in the opinion poll, said they want to join the US. They have been calling for their own sovereignty from Denmark. Is it Denmark? Yes, I believe so. Let me know if I got it wrong. Is it Denmark? I think it's Denmark, not Sweden. Denmark. Yeah. And I think a lot of them fancy the opportunity to be part of America. That's a good one. So most likely Greenland will be an easy one. Now, remember, I'm not saying I am advocating for Trump to take Greenland. I'm saying that based on the trend, people on the ground, they are saying they want to join. Majority of the people in Greenland want to join the US. So if that is what they say and the referendum is held, then likely Greenland will join the US, right? Panama is also another one. The Panama Canal is also one that Trump has talked about. His reason for targeting the Panama Canal is that he said, well, it was built by America and given to Panama. In the past, America built it and gave it to Panama. And it was supposed to be a neutral ground and stuff like that. But Trump is saying that recently, China has been getting closer and closer to abusing that place there. And, you know, from geopolitical point of view, Trump just thinks that it doesn't serve the interests of US to allow its adversary, China, to be getting closer and closer. Charlie, the Chinese, I'm not saying this in any way. The Chinese, they don't play. They don't talk, but they are doing things behind the scene. They don't play, they don't do. They are doing a lot behind the scene that, Charlie. It is a serious cultural warfare going on. Just like the way we have a serious religious warfare going on as well. All right. Anyway, so that is it. I think I answered the question, right? I even went on to Panama as well. Ume Jesse Kelechi, what is your take on Canada being part of the US? I don't think that is possible. I don't think it will be possible. Even though just in my neighborhood here, I saw one family that has a new flag of Canada and US together, telling me that that person or that family, if I got it right, is likely rooting for Canada merging with US. All right. But I think a lot of Canadians will vote against it. Not because the US is not a better place, but Canadians are very proud of their identity. So I foresee a lot of Canadians voting against a move like that. All right. What about the next prime minister? The obvious prime minister, Pierre Poilievre. Obvious because it is in his bag. It's just a matter of time. He's going to get it. He will not support any idea like that. And I just don't think a referendum will pass it in Canada. But there are some Canadians who will be happy, who fancy the idea of joining the US. What I think is possible with Canada and US is that they might want to integrate their economy more, which I don't think maybe Trump would like to do that one. But the way I see Trump is not looking for just economic integration. He looks to me like a modern guy who wants to return America. Look at the language. It's a golden age of US. And the golden age of US sounds very colonial, superpower. You know what I mean? Like you British time, gold, you know what I mean? Like expanding the territory. That's how I see it. So I won't be surprised if his intention for Canada is not just, you know what I mean, to make Canada part of America, like a real land, part of the, and if you go back, you know, these guys have done it in the past. How did they buy Louisiana? How did they buy Louisiana? Most of the states in the US, they actually bought them, right? Alaska, how did they acquire Alaska? Think about it. How did they acquire Alaska? So it's not strange. We just don't hear about these things today because we don't see it happening in recent time. But the truth is, the types of Trump are still there. The leaders like Trump are there who come and then they want more than just 4 years of rule. They want to expand. They want to, you know what I mean? I think he won't succeed with Canada. Greenland he may, Panama he may. I just don't know what China's response will be to that one. Anyway, the British Crown will definitely fight the Canada-US idea. In my opinion, the British Crown is just a toothless bulldog. It cannot bite. Right? In terms of superpower, they are no longer there. They are no longer there. They don't have what it takes to even... I don't think they can stand the Americans. It is what it is. Look. Just look at it. Militarily, how do you think the UK ranks right now? Among the superpower, how do you think the UK ranks? How do you think the UK's economy runs? They cannot even handle the consequence of it on the economy will be serious. They can't. The crown there is not as powerful as it used to be before. Especially since the Queen, who diplomatically and ceremonially, I think she did more. With a king, you know what I'm trying to say. I just think the UK is not the UK we know it to be. It's not. The UK is very ordinary right now, as we speak. Very ordinary. Very, very ordinary right now. And I don't think they'll want to take on a war like this. They just cannot. Yeah. All right. In the past, they would have done because they had the numbers, they had the army. That is actually why Canada actually won against the US in the Battle of 1812, right? Because they had the support of the Brits. They had the support of the natives here. The British power at that time is no longer the British power today. The US has enormously grown in power in many ways, right? Yeah, so that's just what I think. Brian, again, do you see Canada also stopping the child's birth tourism like US just announced, Choco? I think I answered it already. I don't think we have that kind of leader like Trump, an extreme version of Trump here. Pierre Poilievre is kind of coming out like he's singing from the Trump playbook, meaning he's kind of molding himself like a Trump guy, Trump mold, right? But I don't think he's likely to go that extreme of touching the citizenship part. Remember, we are talking at a time when the Canadian government is just about passing a law that will allow children that are even born outside of Canada to Canadian parents to become Canadian citizens. I just don't think he will go to that extreme act of touching there. I don't think so. But immigration, definitely, you can see that the Liberals themselves are already touching immigration big time, right? So when Pierre Poilievre comes, he will definitely touch immigration. He will definitely touch the carbon tax, which I think should be taken off. When you buy fuel in Canada, you see all the taxes that we pay on there. All kind of like, you know, anyway, taxes in Canada are just crazy. It is what it is. OBH now, Peter, why does tourist visa take time, sir? You didn't specify the country where you're referring to, Canada or the US. If it's Canada, please be prepared. It will even get longer because the recent update from IRCC, sorry, an official information that I'm getting right now suggests that Canada's immigration will likely cut their labor force, the IRCC labor force, by about half or so. Sorry, about 3,000. I'm yet to do a video on that, but let me just talk about it. So IRCC is likely to reduce the labor force by over 3,000 or more, which means that the number of visa officers or people who process your visa has gone down, you can expect that to affect processing time. I just don't think processing time will get any better than you're seeing right now for Canada. All right. Would you ever move to the US? It was something I never thought about. If you've watched my old videos, I told you in my old videos I don't really like the US. The farthest I've gone to the US is what, just around here. We just drive the border, across the border and go shop and come back. I'm not a real fan of the US for so many reasons. But in the last few months alone, things happening in Canada, I won't hesitate at all moving to the US if I have to. Yeah, because trust me, if folks like Jordan Peterson are moving to the US, Elon Musk moved to the US, man, let me say it again. Elon Musk was in Canada as an international student. Did you know that? He was at University of Toronto. Hey, by the way, if you are locking this, hit the like button because I've been speaking for over 2 hours now without water. Let me know if you enjoyed this. That's how I'll end the video right now. Let me eat my children's stuff a little bit. Are you enjoying this video? If yes, let me know with the likes, comments as well. Otherwise, I don't see anything. No. I'm not seeing the likes. Please, so. Are you guys liking it? Should I end the video? Guys, so Elon Musk got a student visa. Came to Canada, University of Toronto. He didn't finish his studies. Where the guy abandoned him, go USA, University of Pennsylvania. Where he go study for there. Where he finish, he applied for a visa. I don't know the type of visa he applied for. But something tells me he may have applied for the EB1 or something like that, the EB visa. Those ones for extraordinary, I'm not sure. Extraordinary talent, right? Because Elon Musk, he knows he'd be genius, right? So, because at the age of 12 or so, he was already creating video games and selling them. He was already creating stuff, PayPal and stuff. You know the history. So Elon Musk, he can't away, he moved go US. Within how many years, the guy ran out to be billionaire for the world. Even the number 1 billionaire in the history of the whole world. All right. In the history of mankind, nobody get money past Elon Musk, so forget. All right. Jordan Peterson, who in my opinion is one of the most influential thinkers of our time, Canadian, into a moving family go USA. Me, where are they here, my 11th year. I never thought of, if you've been watching me, you know I despise the US in many ways. I said, look, I had the opportunity to relocate to the US. I chose Canada over US. But right now, the way things make, Charlie, I wouldn't think twice to move to the USA. You see what I mean? You know? Because right now, Canada is driving people away. I'm telling you. The Liberal Trudeau party, they are driving some of us away here. Their nonsense be too much. The nonsense for here is just too much. Canada, they see them like this. The nonsense for here, they really talk about. Anyway. By the way, I'm not saying I'm moving on. I say I won't think twice if the opportunity comes for me to go. I know I can move to the US if I want to. My wife is probably the one who may be against the idea. At a point, she wanted to buy a house outside of this part of Ontario by moving. She was against the idea. She's the type that when she settles in a place, it's difficult for her to just leave everything behind, right? So maybe she might be behind the idea of moving to the US. But recently, when I started watching the prices of houses or real estate in US, I felt like Canada was ripping us off. You know what I mean? Things are just too expensive here. You want to buy a small house like this. This house, some few years back when I was in Canada, would have cost you about $100 and something thousand. All of a sudden, these houses are all around 800, 900,000. How? You don't even understand. And then you go to the US and go and get a big mansion with acres of land where you can even bury your dead, your enemies in your backyard, and you're getting it for 200, 300, 400. Anyway, maybe I shouldn't talk about that because I don't know much about it. I just think Canada is ripping us off too much, way too much. That's what I think. All right, don't be surprised. You see a lot of people here who are immigrants. They may not move back to Europe or back home, but they will see them rather moving from here to the USA. And most of it is economic reasons, because the US, better economy, strength. If you are there, you can blow easily to the US. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Why do you want to move to the US if you have the... Okay. Brian Esomchi, wanna buy you Niger jollof rice, which is better than your usual Ghana rice. You want to start another war. There is one war going on right now in the US, so I better go to Ghana jollof rice or Senegal jollof rice or Niger. All right, look, you know my position already. I don't think Nigerian jollof is better than Ghanaian jollof. I don't think Ghanaian jollof is better than Nigerian jollof. I think the taste of the jollof depends on the person who makes it. You can meet a Nigerian who makes jollof that you eat and you throw up. You can meet a Ghanaian who makes jollof that you eat and you want to visit the loo and shit. Right? Or they will pepper your mouth and then you'll never be able to use your buccal cavity for anything. I think the best jollof comes from the person who cooks it. You see, because you can give the same ingredients to two people, the result will be different. So if you have the best chef making it, more than enough. You know what I mean? Hello, so what can you say about the new immigration policies? Definitely not for this video, maybe another video. This is, I've lost appetite for Canada immigration videos. You know why? The nonsense for here be too much. See what I mean? And I'm not the type who will come and deceive you guys. Oh, come to Canada. No. Charlie, right now, the system makes some way. It make like Sobolo. Sobolo way sugar no dey inside. Those who are already inside and you have a job, keep it up. But those of you who are coming new, they are the ones feeling it more. You see what I mean? The system makes like immigration wise, the ones people are finishing, they are just confused. They don't know where. It used to be so straightforward. Right now, Charlie, the government, they touch everything. They touch everything too much. Do you think PMP scores will be lower? Okay, here is the latest update. Nova Scotia has just slashed their PMP numbers or target. Other provinces have also slashed theirs. So things are going to be more dire for permanent residence applications. You have to be super creative to get your permanent residence applications approved in Canada. The way things are changing, you have to be creative, tactically well positioned, else things are changing a lot. I just can't promise anybody anything. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow because the government keeps changing things a lot. Right? All right. Brother man, I'm in Canada, Alberta, to be precise. If Danielle Smith does not succeed to create good deal with Trump administration, then I'll move to the US. All right. Yeah, I think she's likely to strike a deal. Do you know why? Because Smith is conservative. If you look at how she's running Alberta, it's similar to what Trump would do. The things she's doing there are similar to what Trump will fight for. So the two of them, that is why when she went to visit Trump recently, she got a good reception. But when the liberals went there to visit Trump, you can tell it was fire. You know what I mean? When I say fire, it was like they were fighting like electrical cables that are just sparking fire. But Danielle Smith, when she went, she actually got a good reception from Trump. So I won't be surprised if she manages to strike a good deal with Trump. Yeah. Anyway, Alberta is a nice place to move to based on the trends in Canada right now. Things are much, should I say cheaper? Some things are affordable in Alberta. Housing affordable, probably getting a little bit expensive because of our guys in Toronto and Vancouver moving to Alberta to cause the prices to begin to go up. Otherwise, compared to Ontario, things are cheaper there. The only thing is that their weather is ridiculously crazy. Winter, you will be hit with snow back to back, non-stop. Otherwise, Alberta's economy is in a much better position. Literally, Alberta has been carrying the whole of Canada for a long time. Yeah, Alberta's income or resources has been carrying Canada for a whole long, so it cannot be a wrong place for you to move to. You know what I mean? All right. Medweda Kumia, I learned from you better than the internet. The internet flow. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you. God bless you. Yeah. Galileo, Elon set up a corporation and employed himself. The Democrats tried to use the stuff against him. He was so uncomfortable sharing that info. His brother was the one who shared it in an interview. You are right. I watched that interview when the brother said something, and then Elon would have wished that the brother didn't say it because he know the Democrats will use it against him. You know what I mean? So yeah, Elon Musk came to Canada. That's a fact. He's from South Africa, came to Canada as an international student, studied, didn't finish his study, moved to Pennsylvania to study. And today he's an American citizen. He cannot be a U.S. president because he was not born in the U.S. To be a U.S. president, you have to be a natural born American. All right. If you are not born there, you cannot. All right. Uche Inaji, I'm enjoying the video, Choco. Thank you. Peter, okay, why do you want to move to the US if you have the opportunity? Okay, Peter, Enakemere, okay, why do you want to move to the US if you have the opportunity? I can move there if I want to. That's a fact. If I want to, I can move there. Yeah. If you have the opportunity, why do you want to move? I said there are so many factors that will determine my wife's and so many factors. Otherwise, this is not an idea I would have entertained some few years back or maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. But right now, if it hits me and my wife and we are all feeling it, we don't mind moving at all. Because Charlie, Canada is getting worse. It's getting worse. And even if this government is out of power, it will take a long time to clean up. The mess is a lot. If I want to talk about Canada's mess, just watch my old videos that, I've done recent videos talking about that, right? Yeah. Johnny Walker, Choco, please. I'm done. I have done the biometric, but no answer from Christian. Anybody who has been waiting for update, brace yourself. Canada immigration update on your visa. This is not a time to start complaining because right now things have changed so much. If you begin to complain about the processing time, you are likely going to get a visa refusal because we are living in times where the slightest thing can lead to them making decisions against you. It's not like before where you can just, let me contact an MP, let the MP, those, like you have to be in a serious situation to be wanting to contact an MP now. Right now, the way the thing makes, Charlie, guys, let me summarize. Canada's situation right now with immigration is such that they are, in my opinion, I could be wrong, in my opinion, they are looking for the slightest mistake people will make to cause them to be out of the country. So, you don't get your visa every way they wait. Please, natri, onu mita no natri. It's a go man. Doji. Is that the correct state? Natri, call natri no harm pressure. Why you refuse, sir? You gonna be an system by the way if you many. Hey, by the way, guys, do you know that they are planning to introduce provincial attestation requirement for those who live in Canada and want to apply for the study permits? For example, those of you who maybe are trying to do extensions or apply for your visa, but you're already in Canada and you are eligible to apply from within Canada for your student visa. Then there wasn't a requirement for you to submit a provincial attestation. But right now, it is likely going to happen very soon that students who are already in Canada, probably trying to extend their visas, student visas, or are eligible to apply from inside Canada, will now have to be submitting provincial attestation letters as well. This wasn't the case even as we speak now, but they are thinking about doing that, and something tells me they will do it.